Hi, welcome. It's time to paint some miniatures again. And we've got Nightmare Joss, also known as a name I think can be a little bit difficult for me to pronounce. Maybe Porhyrion? Porhyrion? Porphyrion? I don't know. Counts as Joss from the Fallen Kingdom Nightmare box set, which is really cool. Kim here in the chat says, I think the Fallen Kingdom may be my favorite Nightmare Edition box yet. And yeah, it is a strong contender for sure. It is really cool. I've got Porphyrion built here. Counts as Jaws for the Hoffman crew, fragmented. And I decided not to glue the head / mask on there because I feel like it covers up a bit too much of the sculpt for painting. There might be an argument for leaving the arms off as well, but then you get like the issue of gluing the stuff together after you've painted skin areas that are sort of like tied together. Well, sort of tied together, they're part of his body. So that can get messy in its own way. So I decided to do this. And we've got I did a black undercoat and then some light gray over high Spyrodyne, some light gray from the top. And this is partly because like a zenithal you can work with a zenithal to make the brighter areas look brighter. Like you can paint with contrast colors or glazing and like keep these highlights, or you can just use it as a guide of where to put the highlights if you feel unsure on where the light would hit, depending on where you put your imaginary source of lighting. It also makes the experience a little bit more interesting for you people watching, because like the complete black undercoat just looks, it can easily look like a solid black mass of dark void like on the screen. But I still decided to keep this one entirely black. We're gonna paint metals on there. And one thing I did, like I got home like in the middle of the night from my trip to Scotland with my girlfriend, and I built this miniature today and undercoated it, and then I noticed that there was like this ugly gap here. So that's why we've got some green stuff post undercoating step. Like I was in a bit of a hurry building and undercoating this guy. But like, yeah, it's a mistake, but it's all right. It's still curing, so we're not gonna tackle painting the skin first. But if you come up across this little hiccup, you can actually just green stuff afterwards to cover up that little gap. Sometimes, yeah, there's actually a little gap in that belt there. Maybe we should fix that too. Sometimes you notice these things after you get some brighter colors on there. And sometimes we're stressed, you know? So, like, we're going to wait a bit with the skin. We're going to focus on metals first. Spyrodyne says, it kind of feels that it would be cool to do a 3D print of Solaire rolling as a basing element for Fallen Kingdom. Oh, yeah. So, like a Dark Souls reference with Solaire, like these are the enemies, and a basing element is Solaire, like rolling to avoid an attack. That would be really cool, actually. That's very fun, unique idea. Where did I have? I did have a little bit of spare green stuff here, actually. So we can fix that belt a little bit. Yeah, my plane was late yesterday. Like the trip with plane from Edinburgh to Gothenburg is not very long. It's about 2 hours. But my last 4 planes have all been late. So, yeah. They've all been by the same company, too. So I got home very late, but I had a great time in Scotland. Doing touristy things. Climbed up onto Arthur's Seat. Felt like a real proper mountain climber. But Mom said, like, it's more of a hill. Well, she wasn't there. She didn't climb it. Yeah. Okay. So I also got Stiltskin here. Cute little guy. Little helper, counts as mechanical attendant. So I managed to build this guy as well. Really cute little fella. And so damn cute. Yeah. Like a tiny little bit of apparent gap filling there to do. This is maybe not what you thought would happen immediately, but hey, whatever. Part of the process too, right? So bear with me. It was actually like Scotland is infamous for, or Britain is infamous for rain, right? But it's been really hot and dry. And like it was raining yesterday, the last day there. And the rest of the days were really hot and quite humid. And then I kind of wanted to get home and hope for it being a little bit less hot than it was, but it's still super humid, so I need to remember to hydrate. But enough complaining about the weather. Like, we had a lot of sun and I'm complaining. It was awesome. Hi, McBluff. How are you doing? I was just saying I got home in the middle of the night and I was a little bit stressed putting these together and undercoating them, so I missed a few gaps that were more apparent when I put the brighter part of the undercoat on. Yeah, I'm doing well too. Thank you. Delving into the Nightmare Edition box. So we're gonna put the head, we're gonna mount it on something too, but kind of we want to be able to access this back part too. So, you know, what we could do is we could put, sometimes I glue this stuff to like an old brush to use as a paint handle when like a cork doesn't work. No, I don't. Like, I'm not at all about getting like painting handles made for being painting handles. I'm just making do with whatever I have in front of me. So yeah, some people have remarked on this. This super glue is also pretty old now. I'm almost out of super glue in this one, but like the little trash goblin I still don't. I don't want to throw it away. I want to use it. So I'm just got some goopy super glue here. I'm gonna, it doesn't flow from the thingy anymore, but just scooping it up with a sculpting tool, like a little, I don't know, gremlin scrapper. We'll get to painting anytime now. Any minute. There we go. I don't know why I keep buying army painting super glue. It just always keeps getting thick towards the end. And it's not great when it comes to glue for miniatures. Okay, so yeah, so we got this strange little painting handle here, still curing a little bit. And we're gonna let it cure for just a little bit longer so that we don't put our paintbrush to the mask and then just like whip it off. Oh, I don't know if I finished that sentence, but like some people have remarked on this Nightmare Edition crew being quite dark soulsy, and yeah, I kind of agree. Like, I do agree. It's really cool. And I really like Dark Souls. I'm not complaining at all. There we got some black paint and some lead belcher. And I wanted to wear a shirt to look a little bit more proper, but yeah, got this light top on because it's so bloody humid. I'll look more proper, nice next time maybe. MacBluff asks, what is your favorite model from the Fallen Kingdom box? It's a very good question. I think I was really drawn to this one because it's got this mysterious kind of pyramid head-esque mask, like very strange shape, and there are 3 different faces. Like, it's not pyramid head, but it's strange and mysterious in a creepy way, similar way. Like, what is underneath there? You don't know what it looks like, and it just feels quite brutal and grotesque. So Prophyrion is certainly a strong contender. I think the Hollow Fiends are really well designed, cool creatures. Forgot to put my phone on mute. Whoops. Put glue in my arm there. I'm just gonna put down some lead belcher on this axe to start off. Lord Galeholt is really cool as well. I love a good horse. This is a beautiful horse. And there we go. What's your favorite from the box? I know I didn't exactly give a clear answer. But I like the whole helmet mask thing where you don't really know what's underneath. So I like how that is mirrored from the Hollow Fiends to Prophyrion and well, all of them actually. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the Weeping Huntress's armor. Like, guess she's a robot, but I don't know. It's got the whole boob armor thing going with a very slim waist, but I don't know. She's got some good movement in the sculpt. Still Skin is cute and awful. Good pick. I like the whole nervous little helper with lots of weapons, like crouching, a little. It doesn't look from like Stiltskin's posture. It doesn't really quite look like the others are very kind to it, right? It's like a very nervous goblin type. Yeah, me too. Crash Gremlins. Gremlins and Goblins, I love them. It's a little strange that I don't collect Gremlins by you, actually, since if I want to draw something and I don't know what to draw, or if I feel like I am I'm feeling like a bit, like, oh, I don't know, I want to draw something, but I don't know if I can. Like, I don't want any pressure of doing anything that looks awesome or great in any way. Like, I'm feeling that self-criticizing pressure emotions. Then, or if I just don't know what to draw, I'll often draw a goblin. I drew goblins just the other day while we were at the pub in Scotland. It's a great activity, just pint of beer and drawing goblins. I like an Igor. Yeah. An Igor. I got a little story about an Igor, but I don't know if I should talk about that. Really, it's a bit too disgusting, maybe. Laying down some very rough little darker parts. So we want the axe to look quite like, oh, that's metal too. Okay, I didn't notice. I want it to look quite dark, like in the artwork. So mixing black and lead belcher and just painting this whole area with that to darken it a bit. And then we're gonna want to like do some cool, do a little bit of blending on these parts. If there was a labyrinth themed Nightmare Crew, not sure it would be the Goblin King though. Could have been a Collided Crew back in the day, I guess. Well, Summer Team Jones, I guess. Could probably do that. Nightmare Summer. I'll confess, I have actually never seen Labyrinth. I certainly know of it, but I never have. I've never seen it. Maybe you're yelling at me, shaking your head, shaking your fists. I don't know. Maybe you are. But I've not seen it. I'm sorry. Sounds like a neat idea, though, for a Nightmare Crew. Okay. Let's go for more black. More. I'm kind of blocking in some blacks. The metal color underneath is still wet, but that's actually a good thing because, hey, we're wet blending. Shaking boomstick. Yeah. One day I will watch it for sure. I promise. Oh yeah? Did you like it? So, yeah, fantasy is back with a bang now, right? Or, well, it might still be a flop, but like House of the Dragon and Rings of Power. Say what you want, but it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out, right? Always pretty great. Nice. I know he plays the Goblin King. Or I am wrong, and you can yell at me. But I think I know he plays a Goblin King. I have got a book about goblins by Brian Froud and someone else, and I think Brian Froud did some work for that new Labyrinth series, maybe? I might be mistaken. Yeah, like, if you got low expectations, it's nice to be proven wrong and receive something that you think is really good. Let's manage our expectations. Putting some dark steel paint onto the mask. We don't really worry about getting steel paint onto the faces on the mask because we'll just tidy that up later. Yeah, I don't have the highest expectations for those series either, but like I'm just gonna try and go in there with an open mind. I still haven't watched Sandman because I just kind of went abroad and visited my sister and did touristy stuff. Yeah, but I gotta do that. Seems to have gotten pretty popular. Any of you guys watched the Sandman show? I read some of the comics and I have also listened to the audio dramas that have been released quite recently, which I really like. Yeah. I mean, Sandman is a little strange. It doesn't have the most. Doesn't really have like, how should I put it? Storytelling is quite fragmented. Oh no, this fell off the stick. Oh well, let's just do this. Oh yeah, you should listen to it. It's really good. Although, yeah, fragmented storytelling and it's a bit chaotic. But some parts maybe work better than others. But it's quite experimental, which can be fun. With this glue gotten bad. I don't know. Okay, so more black, more black. Hey, you guys know of like this super mega black color that like doesn't reflect any light at all? Were you able to buy that paint? Something that you can like use to paint miniatures with? Could be cool to paint like in I don't know, like the dark hollow eyes of the Dead Rider, for instance. Maybe that could look like super dark. Spider Eyes is pretty much like all game and stuff. Yeah, I didn't think American Gods, the TV series, was all that good actually. But the Coraline film is just lovely. It's adorable. And I kind of like Neverwhere. And Ocean at the End of the Lane, I really like. Black 3.0. Well, I don't even have Black 2.0. Yeah, I agree. It's very good. So we're now very soon gonna start working some lighter steel colors in here. I'm actually organizing a little tournament in the weekend, on Saturday in Gothenburg. So it's going to be fun. Just a little Malifaux tournament one day or. Excuse me. Yeah. So the title of the tournament is "Bad Things Happen" in honor of Spiredine, the bad Finn who actually won the last one. I thought I was really clever. Thanks, McCluff. This is one of the little tournaments where I felt like, hey, I want to play more tournaments, so I guess I'll organize one myself. So I might play in it myself. Not gonna give my like. I think there's this notion that organizing a tournament, you shouldn't like compete yourself, and you should be a TO and play a softer game. And like if you get to ring, I don't know, that doesn't have to be the case in my opinion. Sometimes when you want to play in a tournament, you just got to do it yourself. Like it would feel funny to give yourself a prize, being like, haha, good job, if you won. Personally, I don't think I would be able to win whilst TOing at the same time. I don't think my brain can handle that, but still want to challenge myself, you know? There are a lot of different opinions on tournaments, etiquette, and how you should do things. What do you guys think? Okay, some filling in the edges with pure silver, and then I'm gonna blend in a little bit more a mid-tone silver on the blade of the axe. I don't mind holding the odd tournament to just like make sure my community has something to offer, to lure players and make others have a good time, but like I want to have a fun time too. So that's why I'm gonna play in it this time. I don't know. I don't want to always do that, but I personally feel like it's reasonable. Feel free to disagree. Do we want the rusty axe? Yeah, let's do a rusty axe. Rust is fun. If you're TOing, though, it could be smart for you to designate someone to mitigate rules disputes in your own games. Yeah, that is a very good point, for sure. Certainly. And I think it's probably important for a playing TO to be very, very, very honest. Like, I'm not saying you're allowed to be dishonest if you're not a TO, but like, if you're just very, very open about things, I think it should be totally fine. Like, if you're a little bit extra helpful and lighthearted and be transparent about your units and stuff. Like combos you might have on the way. I think you should be fine. All the rust and corrosion. Well, nobody's yelling on me to paint it very clean. We don't see as much of the other side of the axe, so we don't really necessarily have to pay as much attention to it. See, this is sculpted as having been not very well kept, so it's got sculpted corrosion on. That's nice. Painting that separately would have helped us be more meticulous in painting it, but also we can just be a little lazy and realize that, especially when it's got the base, you're not going to see all that much of this side of the axe. Oops, bumped into the camera there. I'm sorry about that. So we're painting non-metallic metals, but still, like we're not painting non-metallic metals was what I was trying to say. We're painting true metallics. So we're using metallic paints, and they tend to look good even with minimal effort. Like just base coat and wash can look pretty good as metal, but you certainly don't have to stop there, and that's not where we're stopping. And as with painting true non-metallic, As with painting non-metallic metals. Sorry, guys. As with painting non-metallic metals, contrast is still key, I'd say. So the more contrast you got between the brightest and the darkest elements, the better the metal is going to look. And we can actually like use some of the same techniques as when painting non-metallic metals, although we can maybe simplify them a little bit to really push it. Spider is asking, are you planning to do a very monochromatic look, or will you bring color into the skin and such? I will do colors, but I think I'm going to paint them a bit darker and less colorful than I usually paint my miniatures. So not quite monochromatic, but more dark and drab. That sound good to you guys? Oops. Soulful. Yeah. Dark and soulful, for sure. We did a very touristy thing and went to a whiskey distillery. So now I kind of sort of know how whiskey is made. That's cool. I do quite like whiskey. Sounds good, says Mucklove. Nice. All on board. They are very cool. It was very fascinating to learn of that stuff. And also strange rules as well. Like, apparently you're not allowed to store whiskey barrels, like barrels of whiskey in Glasgow. So I was in Edinburgh and Glasgow, and apparently there's a law after like there was a huge fire due to lots of spirits being stored in the same place. There is apparently still a law that you can't store it there. So that distillery that we visited, they have to send their casks away to age their whiskey somewhere else before it comes back. It's quite fascinating. Spartan says, when I lived in Japan, I visited the Suntory whiskey distillery 3 to 4 times. Nice. I do want to try more Japanese whiskey. I don't know a whole lot about whiskey, but I tend to like it. And I'm aware that Japan does make a lot of whiskey. So now I've got more respect for the whiskey golem, you know? More of an understanding. Under construction says 5 feet away outside of Glasgow. Okay, in Glasgow, absolutely not. Free tasting is the best part. I wouldn't say my tasting was free because I did pay for a tour, but I did certainly enjoy the tasting. We also got to taste the spirits that like pre-aging. That was really nice, actually. Okay, this turned into whiskey stream apparently. I didn't mean that to happen. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, so a little bit black here to push the contrast. I want it to be darkest nearest the brightest parts. Push the contrast. Okay, so now let's do some brass. What are you doing, kitty cat? Okay, so I'm using some little Citadel brass scorpion. Start painting the other metal parts of the mask. Hey, kitty cat. Yeah, I'm gonna give you more food later. Promise. It was so nice to see how happy she was when I got home from my trip. Happy little kitty. Yeah, how are you doing, Construction Pains? Spider-Man says, yes, McBluff. Cat. Don't know if you could hear her or not. Spider-Man at the Centauri distillery tours that were free. All it cost was a train ride there. Oh, wow. That is really nice. Very nice indeed. I like that. You might not have seen that if you don't have the miniature yourself, but on the back side of Prophyrion's mask, there's a wooden part where there's actually it's like a hatch where you can. Oh, should that have been steel? Maybe. You can remove the mask, and it's got locks. So there are locks to hold the mask in place. Not very consensual, it seems. Prophyrion sounds Greek. Is it like? I wonder if it's a reference. I haven't really Googled that. All right, these parts are actually painted as if they're steel, maybe. Okay, look at that. Just make some adjustments there, maybe. Under construction, resting mines between projects, between two Kickstarter commissions and City of Lies. They were starting to hurt, so taking it easy for a week before starting Kingdom Death contest. Sounds reasonable. Need to take care of your body. And your eyes are no exception. Prophyrion was one of the giants that's the Titan Gaia and Tartarus spawned. Oh. Okay, thank you for the info. Yeah, it sounded very mythological. Hey, kitty. I feel like these, this banding in between the heads, should it kind of be? It could be brass too. Okay, so there we go. All those locks. Poor Prophyrion being locked up like this. Maybe. I don't know. Might have been an unpleasant type. Yeah, maybe. Could be, could be. There are some cool Dark Souls models, yeah. Did you buy this set, Spiridine? Didst thou purchase it? Not yet. Thinking about it, maybe. Cool. Yeah, it's extra cool with one more Nightmare set this time compared to earlier Nightmare releases, which have been 1 box or 2 boxes. I wonder if this would be metal or leather. Maybe metal, maybe leather. Okay, this is not sculpted as one single metal band. Like in the artwork, it's painted as if this is metal, but the way it's sculpted, it kind of flows into the bandages. So, I don't know. Well, that transition isn't very obvious, so just wing it. Hungry, a good sign when you're sick. Yeah, I guess. It's not a bad sign. Hope you're better soon. Okay, so actually, I think we're gonna wash this with some Agrax, probably. There we go. Did you have COVID, Spiredine? Hope you're well soon. Okay. Yeah. But your fever was gone. Okay. Hope you're rid of it for good now. We're gonna have to do the wash the other side of the mask later, because otherwise drying will be a huge pain. And there. There we go. Okay, so let's add some rust. That could be fun. So first, I'm going to use a little sponge. I'm going to rip off part of a sponge and how many sections on this on the pants? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, I think. Just dab this sponge over flat area of the axe. Oh no! An even number of stripes. We can't have that. Imbalance in the force or something. There. Yeah. I can check once more to be sure. Okay, so that stripe is quite wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6. Unless I can't count twice. Rust. I like painting rust. It's fun. Thank you. I'm glad you think so. Maybe we'll add a little bit more brighter orange for contrast. Looks like he's got a sizable cut piece too. Yeah, quite. Someone's gonna get tetanus from that axe. Yeah, nice. I'm not sure tetanus is like the biggest of your worries if this guy comes after you with an axe, but like if it grazes you, yeah, that's probably pretty horrible. That's why it's irreducible. Nice. Smart. Smart, smart. I feel like the focus is off a little bit. Yeah. Well, if it grazes you, you might be dead, even if you get away. I guess. Might want to go back in and I know this is 1907, but surely you have some solid method of cleaning, good doctor. Probably did sterilize it before he stabbed you with it. Might have stabbed several people before you if you were sterilized, but somewhere in the past he did sterilize. That might be it. That might be it. Just gonna go back in and kind of reinforce the sharp edges, scratches and stuff. Some silver. Some scratches might have gotten there after the rust. Or a lot of them. Maybe even a lot of them. Possibly, yes. Quite possibly. Okay, moving on to mask face thingy. To rust that up in as well. Wait, he invented the stapler? Yeah, I guess he did. He's a genius, McMorning. He certainly is. And McMorning with stapler is like one of my like one of the pieces of artwork I really like the most in the game. It's just beautifully captures his his insanity and his maniacal creativity and enthusiasm. I love it. I love it. Yeah, very impressive doctor. Right, so we wanted to watch the other side of the mask. When I say wash, it's not gonna get cleaner. Still reinforce this. Contrast a little bit with some black up here. I love painting rusty metal. Maybe you can tell. I just think it's bloody good fun. Speaking of blood, You could put on some blood later too. Well, I prefer to do that post varnish. So if we want to varnish it, we should do that before that step. Okay, so let's continue working on the brass. We'll go back over the brass areas with the base color. Kind of like roughly paint that on there, and like almost a little textured. Just poking it on there, and we're basically highlighting with our base coat, which was darkened by the wash. So that's why it becomes a highlight. Focusing on the most prominent areas we feel would get some light. Quite generous though, with which areas we pick, but we avoid like any areas where the wash has hit heavily. Any recesses and crevices, like joints, the armor. Thanks for following, Shouters Monster. Cool. How are you doing? We are painting a big gribbly boy from the Nightmare Edition box set Fallen Kingdoms. He's called Prophyrion. Was that it? Prophyrion, I hope. Bit of a giant, this guy. Counts as Joss. Joss the boss. Joss boy. Jossie boy. Everyone's favorite can opener character. But whereas Joss has an arc axe, this guy has Axe of Tetanus +4. Or something like that. And the same here, being kind of quick about it. Brushing over the bigger areas. Leaving these parts in shadow somewhat. Right. Don't have to be super neat. I see. This is one creepy guy. Gonna look pretty creepy. Gonna do any verdigris aging on the copper? Yes, I will. McLuff says, I still remember my friend's character having severe rabies in Through the Breach because conditions in Through the Breach are fun. Ooh. Well, it's better to have rabies in an RPG than in real life. because that can get really sad really quickly. Yeah, I'm thinking I'll do some verdigris. I actually have a verdigris. I usually mix up my own verdigris. You can do that with turquoise paint and glaze medium, basically. But I did actually buy some the other day, some verdigris effect from Vallejo Game Effects. So we could try that out. If you've heard that, no, that's the shittiest product ever, you should never use that, yell at the screen whilst typing to me, telling me that it is. So I know. Vallejo Game Color Verdigris Effect. I could have watched a review or something. Yeah, there's not going to be a bot there. I'm just going to say I could have watched a review or something. So I mixed in a bit of silver into the brass paint to highlight the brass. Yeah, that took me a while for a rain to get to that, but we got there. I watched a bunch of stand-ups in Edinburgh because we were there. I mean, they have this festival, this extremely big festival during like the whole of August in Edinburgh, Scotland, and it's called the Fringe Festival. We did watch some, well, kind of 2.5 really funny stand-up shows, and then one stand-up show where like the last person we tried to go to, we ended up in the wrong room in that pub. And, like there were so few people in that room, and when we sat down, we realized we were like, that's not the person we were looking to see. But then it felt too embarrassing to just stand up and leave, especially since there were only about like 3 or 4 people in there. And then we sat down. So yeah, and it happened to be the worst stand-up show I've ever seen. The other 2 were great. One was awesome. But like we couldn't leave because it felt too embarrassing. It just got worse and worse. And like I want to just stand up. I thought I could just sit here and smile and chuckle a bit, like pretend chuckle. But it was like, it was impossible. He was making it such a hard time for us to have fun. Like aggressively not fun. Aggressively self-loathing show, kind of scream for help. I actually got pretty anxious seeing it because wow. But then when it was over, we actually caught, I don't know, like the last third or something of the show we wanted to see, and that was awesome. So some crazy contrast there. Does that something like that ever happen to you guys? Like, I don't want to trash talk people, but like, I don't know. It was strange. Very strange. I'm not going to name any names, obviously. I'm not saying I could necessarily do anything better. Don't get me wrong. But, like, he's been doing that for quite a long time. Usually that only happens when I visit my family. Ouch. Ouch, under construction. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, let's highlight using some silver. Let's start here. I hope there are like little rays of light as well there for the family. Family can be a handful for a lot of people, maybe for most people, I don't know. Rambling. Like usually with stand-up, someone is not great, you just chuckle a little bit and then don't make a big deal of it, right? But there comes a point where it gets really stressful for you. Apparently. Well, enough of that. Okay, time to highlight these faces. So if you think faces are rough to paint, here's a miniature with 3. Although they're bigger and probably easier to paint than a lot of other faces in the range. So, meh. It's not that bad. It's just funny. So I'm highlighting the faces with the brass color mixed with a little bit of silver, and I'm concentrating on these quite well-defined facial features like the cheeks, the chin, the brows, nose, nostrils. Whatever this part coming down from the nose is called, and I don't mean the lip. Zarya should probably be AFK for a moment or two. Okay, cool. No problem. Hmm. So I'm just gonna. Okay, so I'm gonna pick out the most prominent edges of these brass details. So like this sort of kind of rainbow shape or whatever fan, and these sculpted scratches. You want to do the lower part of the scratch, not both, not the upper. You want to do the lower part. So that's where the light would hit. And it's kind of tilted this way, so this would be more in shadow. We're going to darken that down a little bit later. Learning, awesome. Yeah, because when there's a scratch, the light, if coming from above, will only hit the lower part of the scratch, and the upper will be in shadow. This is a stream where learning can be fun. Boop. Yeah, I don't claim to be the funniest person ever. Hi, Kim. Welcome back. We're painting eyebrows. This guy has a 6-pack of eyebrows. Wow. Did you see the alt jaws? He is so strong. He even has a 6-pack of eyebrows. Wow. Wow. And on the back side, you might want to, like, if you're not, I mean, we put this on a paint handle of sorts, and it fell off. So now we're just holding the paint, and you risk rubbing it off, especially since we humans tend to have a bit of grease on our hands, even if we haven't been eating crisps. Our fingertips can be a little greasy, so paint can rub off. And to prevent that, you can actually wear like thin latex gloves. It can be especially handy if you're airbrushing. If you just don't want to have paint on your fingers, maybe you or your skin reacts badly to it. I'm being Captain Obvious now, but Captain Obvious needs to rear her head sometimes, I guess. So a little bit of black, some dark brown, and some bronze color, and we're darkening this area down. You can actually add some purple. Purple washes are really good on bronze and brass, actually. It can work for gold too. Creates a very, very nice contrast. So if you want to wash like a bronze metallic, don't know what to use, you could like a brown wash, but you could also just try purple. Spider-Man says Captain Obvious has to be really content with his job since he hasn't gotten a promotion in at least 40 years. Oh. Yeah, maybe. For Captain Obvious. He's obvious, but he's actually captain. So we should treat him with respect. So there's a green glow from the eyes and mouths of these faces in the artwork. And I'm thinking we'll get back to that later. certainly be cool to do. We've got a pretty rich brass and rusty steel going here, right? So you can do some really cool things with true metallics. So shall we try this verdigris effect? Game effects. Viejo. Let's hopefully not ruin this stuff. You can do it carefully. So rust, any type of corrosion, it tends to collect in certain places. Yell at me if I'm still being Captain Obvious. But it tends to collect in nooks and crannies, and like where water would pile or run, and where it would be difficult to clean. Spartan says, metallics are probably my weakest paint skill at the moment. They can be hard. I think I often have an easier time with dirty metallics than super shiny high elf type stuff, if you know what I mean. Like, I also think it's more fun, so that might have something to do with it. So this is sort of like a wash, like a rust effect wash, which is nice. You can also, of course, use pigments, which work a little differently, and I haven't used them all a whole lot, but a little bit. I use pigments on the rusty cogs of the mechanical puppet grinder base. Painting with true metallics can actually be frustrating because they can be kind of messy paints. So that can make the experience less enjoyable, I find. Like, I really don't have anything against non-metallic metals. I think that's fun and challenging and really cool. But I really like I don't mind being one of them people who paint true metallics. I think it's really, they both have their place. So you want to put some wash at the rivets, because if the metal is rusty, it's always going to be pretty much always going to be rusty around the rivets. And like probably rain would go down the mask and collect and run here in these nooks, and therefore, and they're probably the hardest to clean, especially if you can't really see properly and you have this sort of pyramid head thingy on. Okay, so this is brass, this is steel, but we also have these little brass lines here, so we can still put some verdigris around those. Paradigm says, you know, one of the main differences with verdigris and rust is forms of corrosion. I do know one of them. One is that verdigris is turquoise and the other is generally orange. But yeah, there might be something I'm not thinking of. Something I really never knew. So please enlighten me. As far as I know, verdigris tends to occur on like bronze and copper. Something it has to do with minerals and stuff, or like the chemical composition. Blah 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 blah. I think this is a balancing act because I still kind of want the warmth of copper to show, but I want a cool verdigris effect too. Oh, verdigris is protective. That does make sense now that I think about it, because verdigris, like copper roofs and stuff. Yeah, cool. I learned something. Thank you. That is very interesting. So I was thinking we'll let this cure and dry, and I'll have a short break and then I'll be back to you. Yeah, Play Weird educational stream. Like school, but weird. That looks pretty cool. I think this product is a fine one. Nice. Ah, this is a cool guy. Okay, so short break. See you in a few minutes. Okay, I'm back. And we are back. Woo! You've been hunting. Wow. What have you been hunting? Coworkers. Sounds like a scary experience for the coworkers. Oh. All out on lunch. Oh. Well, I kind of like this verdigris effect, but I think maybe I'm gonna put a little bit more bronze back in there and just a few places. Spiridon, are you reinforcing that stereotypical Finnish fascination with knives? Okay, so I think we're gonna paint the bandages. If you say so. Oh, come on. Let go. Please let go. I want to use the brush. That works. So we're gonna put some dried bark and some steel agent drab on the plate. And I'm gonna base coat most of this with steel legion drab. I will later separate the metallic banding here and the bandages with like a dark line. That'll look better. It helps define the different areas and materials. Using dried bark in the shadows. Might as well blend it in. Whipped cream in a can. You deserve some whipped cream, right? Speaking of whipped cream, what is my hair doing? I don't know. It's got its own life. Let's pretend it looks cool. And if anyone's worried, yes, I did feed the kitty cat. Sounds messy, yes. Can be. And let's go into Rackard Flesh. Oh, this pot is almost finished. But, I guess we could just go into polished bone. We can just mix. Or I'm pretty sure I have another rock earth here. Yeah, I do. Oh, it's not. It's crazy. There we go. We found it. You helped a lot. That's why I'm saying we. Oh no, this is a rock earth flesh pot that is a bit weird in that it's somehow not quite the same color as the other one. Well, maybe we shall use this one after all. For highlighting these bandages, trying to avoid getting paint in the recesses between the different wraps of bandage. Working up to almost polished bone. This character is not too different from painting, say, Killjoy. and that there's big muscular body parts and bandages, huge rusty cleaver. But this guy's got a strange mask and some fancy pants, so it's also a little bit different. So as you might have suspected, we're not going to be able to finish this on this stream. Will we finish him next stream? Maybe. It's going to be at least 2 streams. Try and finish him next stream, but could be a challenge. We want to do him justice. Okay, that's nice to hear. So now I'm highlighting it with pure Reaper polished bone. We could stain these bandages with some grime and blood layer if we wanna. Like I'm not letting these lines be like these final highlighted lines be complete lines. Like want to interrupt them and do like these little staggered lines kind of to make the bandage look rugged and worn. Poor guy wasn't bandaged today, so it's what I'm thinking at least. Bandages wouldn't be shiny, so they'll be matte, so they wouldn't have the highest contrast, but we can afford to do a little bit of almost white highlights, I think, towards these most obvious edges. Now let's paint the wrapping of the axe. And I think we'll paint it watered down, like mix of black and dried bark. And then we'll get some free highlights from that zenithal. And then the trousers. Let's do them like Spider-Man wanted striped trousers. So I'm thinking we'll do half of them like a drab burgundy color. and the other half maybe black. Does that sound good? Or do we actually? Yeah, let's do that. So I grab like partner burgundy, but adding a little bit of black to dull it down. So we want a slightly muted color scheme. I normally paint quite vibrant, although like not the most colorful thing ever. Like bit in between, I'd say. And this color goes really well with that bandage, almost creamy bandage color. Well, it's dirtier than cream, but you know what I mean. Dirty cream color. And right, almost forgot about the pants actually. Trousers are sticking up above the belt, of course. Then let's shade that a little bit using almost black paint. Looking for these stripes sculpted into miniature, suggesting creases in the fabric. So we use that as a guideline. Doing the lacing thing where I just worked that over the cod piece and then wiped it off with my thumb, which inevitably leaves our shadow color in the hard to reach areas. So I'm very lazy, but sometimes functional way to shade something. Can do that same thing here, actually. Why not show lazy tricks? Especially since it's supposed to be a little dirty. There we go. Could just water it down and use it as a wash. This is a messier method. Just don't put that thumb in a different place in the miniature, getting paint where you don't want it. Because that is not fun at all. Then let's add some Reaper Polished Bone to that previous burgundy mix and highlight it. I like these edges, like cloth. Again, we can interrupt these lines at times to make it look like these are fancy clothes that are now worn and therefore a little bit less fancy. I think I might have just put paint in my hair. That could be a feature. Let's see. So just some creasing where fabric meets the knee. And stay in camera. It's easiest to drift outside of camera a little bit. There we go. Such a fancy guy. Wonder if he had a shirt earlier. Just hulked out of it. Next leg. I wonder what character we're going to paint after this guy. Maybe the main guy himself, Lord Galeholt. Har det hört. Or maybe Stiltskin. Stiltskin is a charming little guy. Maybe. What do you guys think? Maybe it's a little early. I mean, we aren't going to finish this guy this string, so. You never know. We might be able to finish this guy next string. Let's see. And just one even brighter edge highlight, I think, in some places at least. Here we go. Maybe the stitching. This guy fell on his butt sometime. Seems like. Just gonna paint the belt in Rhinox hide. And we're gonna make it look pretty dark, I guess. It depends on how we want to deal with the pants, maybe. Maybe we want the trousers to be like the other stripes to be black, so we want the belt to be a little bit more Oops. Stand out just a little bit more from that. So let's shade the belt, like do a black line towards the top, leaving some brown above it and even more brown below. And let's highlight that with some Mornifring brown mixed with a little bit of khaki and a little bit of rhino's hide, actually, to like want to get a slightly warmer, somewhat warm highlight, but not the warmest ever. So we still want it to look kind of drab. Find some sort of balance. Adding just a tiny bit of warmth. Yes, as our amazing hobby assistant Kim says, we are going to be wrapping up soon. And we got quite far, at least. We painted the steel and brass areas. We painted a lot of rust effects. And we painted the bandages on his right arm, the burgundy stripes on the trousers, and like most of the leather belt. So next time, I'm thinking we'll finish up the wrapping on the axe, the other stripes of the trousers, and work on the skin. And we'll see how far we get. Yeah, those are my social infos. So check that stuff out if you haven't yet. It's been great being back here painting miniatures with you guys. Remember to check out the other streamers. And I will see you guys in a couple of weeks. So in the meantime, take care and have fun and stay weird and all that stuff. Bye-bye.